What's a happening, nerds? This is John nerding out with cards. In case you didn't know that, but you can probably see my channel name down below, so I don't know why I say it. But Brent Richards did a VR call out for your greatest hobby moment, and so it's one of those things. I've been thinking about how to kind of do this, but whatever. Just, point, shoot, let's go. And so it's like, what is my greatest hobby moment? And it's really interesting to watch other people's videos of this, and just kind of thinking, what could they be? It's was it when I got an Ozzie Smith autograph card for my dad Christmas in '95? That's a good one. Could it be when I purchased this Ozzie Smith rookie card, my dream card? When I got a job when I turned 16? Could be. What about when I became a first-time home buyer and I celebrated by purchasing a graded Ozzie Smith rookie card? Could be. What about when I got Stan the Man's rookie card? Could be. More recent times, what about Yachty's gold rookie card? Could be as well. But there is one singular moment. And it's an amazing moment, right? And so when I thought about this question, what's your greatest hobby moment? And it's just like, you all know, if you watch my channel, big time Cardinals fan. And it's one of those things, like my fandom and my collecting are, married. They're like white on rice. That's why you don't see me with a post Hall of Fame collection. Those are awesome, but I can't bring myself to collect cards of certain teams, other teams, whatever. And so it's just like, there is one moment where my fandom and my card collecting just clash together, and I'm going to show you a card of it. It's like how do you know it's your greatest hobby moment? Well, it's your greatest hobby moment if you had a card made of it. And that's this. And I've showed this before, but when I got to meet Ozzie Smith at the Rawlings Experience grand opening, April of last year, like, that's how you know it's your greatest hobby moment, if you have a card made of it. What if I said something else? That'd be kind of weird. Whatever. So anyway, and I'll show pictures throughout this video. But no, so I talked about this before, but the last 2 years, my schedule has been just insane. Am I in Seattle? Am I in San Francisco? And am I in St. Louis? And it seems like there's always stuff going on that I want to go to or see, but it's either I'm here and it's happening there, or I'm there and it's happening here. It's just, things just never seem to work out, boo-hoo, right? And so last year I was on leave, and and I just happened to, be scrolling through the Facebook, and 101 ESPN Radio there in St. Louis had made a post that they were going to be at the grand opening of the Rawlings Experience in St. Louis. Because Rawlings is based out of St. Louis. And I was like, well, I don't even know what that is. I hadn't heard nothing about it. And then I saw in there that is, Ozzie Smith and Ted Simmons were going to be there for meet and greet. Ozzie was going to be from 10 to 12 or something, and Ted Simmons is going to be there for a different 2-hour block. And it's like, oh man, I want to go. But when I'm home on leave, and I try to take a load off of what my wife had been doing as a single parent. And so when I saw that, I was like, I want to go. And so I got the approval. I took my daughter to school, and then made my way out to Westport Plaza. So I get out there, and by the time I got there, there's already a long line for Ozzie. And I was like, man. And I don't know how some people feel about lines. They won't do it, and that's fine. But I'm used to the hurry up and wait, right? Being in the military. And so I get in the line, and what the thing that sucks most about lines for me, especially if it's a time sensitive thing, is am I gonna make it? So anyway, I should have mentioned before, but I started thinking about, what am I gonna do for this photo op thing, right? And it just occurred to me, I was like, I should bring my binder of Ozzie Smith cards. And so I think I had like 830 something cards at the time, and I'm up to 879. So yep, I brought my binder with me. It's this hulking binder, and so I get in line, and one of the things about the meet and greet was he was not signing autographs. That would take a long time. He did his meet and greet, they did the ribbon cutting ceremony, and then it was going to be Ted Simmons time. So, it was just, like I said, no autographs. And I knew that, right? I didn't care to get his autograph. I got his autograph on a bunch of other things anyways. I just wanted a great picture with me and Ozzie. Thought it'd be so damn cool. I had met him before, and I got another picture, but it's not as good. So I'm standing in line. I got this big ass binder with me. And they had these people working there, and they came up to me several times, different people. He's not signing autographs. He's not signing autographs. I'm like, I know, I can read. Believe it or not, reading comprehension is something I got evaluated on. And I was like, nope, I'm just being a dork, being weird, being a nerd. And I want to get a picture with Ozzie with my card collection. And they're like, oh, okay. One laughed at me. So anyway, time goes on, and it's finally like my turn, and I get in there, and because I was by myself, I had to get my phone to this to one of the workers there, which honestly, like, they didn't have to do, because they had like a little photo booth thingy. I don't know, the picture quality on that was crap, but anyway, she took my phone. And it was so awesome because she ended up taking multiple pictures. And so one was just this, it was an awesome moment, right? I walk in, and he just looks at me, and like I said, Ozzie was amazing about it all. And he's like, oh, wow, that's cool, kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, I got 800, and I forget what it was at the time, but 830 something cards. And, I thought it'd be awesome to get a picture with you in my card collection that I've been collecting since I was 7. And he's like, oh, wow. And I remember him telling me, he's like, yeah, Topps, they send me cards all the time to sign. And it's funny because, like, you look on the eBay, and you can pick any year in the last, 15, 20 years, and there's an Ozzie Smith autograph card in the set. And I was like, yeah, I don't doubt it, I thought that was really, funny. And, so then I get my picture with him. Like I said, there was that candid photo, like, and then there was like the actual like formal photo, if that's what you want to call it. And it was epic, absolutely epic, like better than I had imagined it could be. I remember walking out of there, and I go outside, and I was shaking. Like, did that really happen? I guess that's what the breakers feel like when they pull a hit or something. I don't know, but yeah, I was like, that was, oh man, it was so amazing. And I stuck around, watched the ribbon cutting and whatnot, and then I had to get back home to do real life things, but it was so cool. And then it was later on, it was months later, where I got invited to that Ozzie Smith Facebook group. And come to find out on there, there's more prolific Ozzie Smith collectors on there, and good for them. But a couple of them like have an actual relationship with Ozzie Smith. So when you couple that with their actual collection, like some of them have game used gloves, they have so many more cards, They got this, and they got that. They do like all the memorabilia stuff. And knowing that now, and he still acted the way he did with me, like that's just really cool, you know what I mean? Like, he could have been like, oh yeah, you know, I've seen it before. Take a picture, see ya. But he was just so cool about it. Like I said, it was so amazing that I was just like, let's get a baseball card made of it. Oh man. But yeah, like I said, it's a fun thing to think about. You know, what's your greatest hobby moment? You know, like I said, it could be just the big card. It could be time with friends. It could be anything. It could be meeting your favorite player. You know, so it is really fun to watch all these responses to Brent Richards' baseball cards, the VR call out that he did. It was, for me, it was a fun thing to reminisce on. I hope you all like it. You know, try to keep this shorter. And you all nerd your own way.